Hi everyone, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is a collective reading, so I do speak in broad terms. You have to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. Nothing's broken or wrong. You're not on your path. You just might be working on something different. It may just not be your reading at this time. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily readings. In there shows you some information about housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing the channels, what decks I'm working with at the given time, how to contact me or follow me on social media. If you want a private reading, that's how you would contact me. Know that I will never reach out to you. If anybody does solicit you for a reading saying they're me, it's not me. You'd have to approach me at my Facebook business page or my Instagram account. This reading is originally created for Thursday, the 5th of December, but it's not solely set for that date. I believe readings can be timeless, so if you're seeing this at a different date, yet it still makes sense to the situation, by all means utilize it. The information may apply when you're seeing it rather than when it was originally created for. What else do I want to say? I will be referring back to the Sunday underpinning energy. That's a layer that's underneath this reading. So if you hear me referencing cards that you don't see in this reading, in this video, that video populates at the end of this reading in the lower left-hand corner. You can always check that out. So what do the cards want us to know? We have the full moon coming up. It's void, of course. And it's the cold moon. It's the first full moon of the 2023 year. So full moons, remember, are good for releasing, completions, coming full circle, awareness. We've also been seeing a lot of cards this week in regards to our intuition, the sign of Pisces and Cancer, and also our emotions. A lot of cups energy. So, and you know, full moons can make us definitely emotional. The moons affect the tides, right? You know, they like have a definite sway or power over the water, and our emotions would be that suit of cups, that water energy. So that might be partially why we're seeing so much cups energy flowing through the cards this week. I feel like, you know, there's big shifts taking place in the collective awareness or consciousness of each and every one of us. It may be around a different situation for each and every one of us, but there is definitely like an awakening or an awareness, a transformation taking place. So that's a good thing. All right, so let's see what the cards want us to know. Okay, excuse me. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Swords. We saw that recently. Earlier this week, actually, as a bottom of the deck card. To me, bottom of the deck can sometimes be the subconscious. We might be working through some worries at this time, or have been working through some worries. We maybe have been in a period of mental anguish, a lot of thought, overthinking, nightmares, worries. Will this work out? How will this work out? Why is this not working out in the way that I expected? That would be the Nine of Swords energy. So be aware of that. That can definitely mean nines are about personal completion too. So we could be coming to an ending of this worry, or we've recently reached an ending with this sort of worrying about something. Let's see what the card is for the day. We have more. It's funny, I was just talking about cups energy and water and being affected by the moon. We have the Queen of Cups. So, Queen of Cups is cups upon cups. Queens represent the cups in the tarot, you know. So even if they're of a different suit other than cups, they can still be connected to that nurturing, watery, emotional state that the queens represent. The Queen of Cups is high intuition, a lot of love, a lot of nurturing, a lot of emotionality. But when I see the Queen of Cups, I always view her as someone that's like sort of okay with her emotions or aware of her emotions. Has worked on herself or looked at herself emotionally. And we saw that Six of Cups, High Priestess energy, a lot of divine feminine energy. Oh, wow. A lot of divine feminine energy in the Sunday reading. You may want to go back and watch that, because underpinning this, we're now at Thursday the 5th, would be that high priestess energy, which would also be related to the sign of Pisces. Yesterday we had the Hanged Man as our main card, which was also Piscean energy. Queen of Cups ties into that Piscean energy very much so. And Cancerian or Scorpionic energy, right? It's that intuitional, emotionally sensitive, connected spiritually through how we feel, really paying attention to it. But with the Queen, she's not afraid of her emotions. Of the court cards, I feel like she's the one most adept at dealing with her emotions because she's the Queen, right? So she processes everything through her emotions. She owns everything through her emotions. Her intelligence, her awareness, all of that comes from her emotional state of well-being, or transforming herself into that emotional state of well-being. These 4 flowers on the corners of the card make me feel like there is a balance, because 4s oftentimes bring me into this state of foundational balance or security. I think that there's a settling in how we feel this week, or an understanding in how we may feel in our more divine feminine aspects of how we relate to situations through our heart or through our feelings. We saw that in the Sunday reading in the beginning card of the 6 of Cups, moving into the High Priestess, which would indicate spiritual awareness and connection. That's maybe not necessarily understood by all, but that's not important to the High Priestess, right? And the Queen of Cups is going to value her emotional barometer over what anybody else has to say, right? There could be a little bit of tumult going on around us emotionally with maybe situations or other people. That's those waves on the outside of them. But it doesn't really affect her world. She knows very clearly how she feels. And she's aware of that, foundationally strong in that, holding true to that, listening to her intuition and caring for that, like harboring that, nurturing that, owning that from a very strong place. So if we found ourselves, and she can also be a very psychic card too, I will say that. So with this full moon coming, if we find ourselves getting into, which, and even more so with the High Priestess underpinning this. So if we find ourselves getting intuitive hits that feel right to us, by all means, listen to them. We don't necessarily have to share them. That would be the High Priestess's influence. We may want to keep those intuitional hits to ourselves and use them, to our own advantage or our own awareness, or indicate our own decisions. But we don't necessarily have to prove them as right to anyone else. The Queen wouldn't have to do that. Oftentimes she can be misunderstood or seen as overly emotional, but she's not. She's just exactly who she is. She knows how she feels. Oftentimes she can be a mirror to everyone else about how they're feeling, and they're just not ready to process it, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind today. I do feel like this is an empowered card, a state of stability emotionally for us that we maybe have been seeking to reach, and it feels like we're getting there for sure. Let's look at the Absolute Affirmations card, and this is why I laughed, because when you see it, hopefully you'll get it. My energy flows abundantly. More water, guys. It's like a water spigot, for Christ's sakes. It's got water flowing in it. And there's valves on it. We get to determine, how much and when and where our energy flows abundantly. Wherever our attention goes, and whatever we put our attention on is where our energy is flowing towards. And in what way we're putting our attention on it is really key too. A deep reservoir of energy exists within you. When managed properly, your supply flows endlessly. Limit overexertion and prioritize rest and rejuvenation to function at your highest capacity. Draw upon your reserves as needed to take positive action and revitalize those around you. So, the Queen being cups on cups can, like I said earlier, be sometimes seen as overly emotional, but she understands the power of her emotions, and we get to choose how much we turn the valve on or off in any given situation. We don't have to let it overwhelm us or overcome us, and if, like I said, if it's misunderstood by others, that's okay. We can allow that to be misunderstood. We don't have to I'm going to just show you again. We don't have to worry about it or fret about it or use our logical mind to relate to it through the Nine of Swords to understand it or have worries around it. Does that make sense? And I got to say this because this deck always has another picture when I pull the first card off of it. The next one is I recognize synchronicities, and the card is 1111 or on the phone. So pay attention to synchronicities around you. That would also be the High Priestess's spiritual connection. and the emotionality and the psychic nature of the Queen of Cups, you might be seeing synchronicities around you. Allow those synchronicities to come, honor them, see them for what they are, right? Be appreciative of them in gratitude, and more will come. That's where we allow our energy to flow abundantly towards our spiritual connection, towards our spiritual awareness, towards the signs and synchronicities that are being given to us to let us know either we're on the right path, our feelings are indicating us in the right direction, all of that sort of stuff. Today's the day to connect to that, especially with the High Priestess up underneath this, especially with all that divine feminine energy that I've been seeing throughout the week and throughout the Sunday reading. This energy connects us more to spirit through our emotions and through our nurturing nature and compassion. And that this compassion may just be for ourselves during this time, but by all means, let it flow abundantly. Let it connect you to the synchronicities. Let it inform your decisions and tell you what is, emotionally correct or spiritually correct for you at a soul level. And then make your decisions from there. I do get a feeling that there's, even for those of you that might be being told, you're being too overly emotional or whatever, or maybe even being told you're overthinking it, don't listen to them, right? And there's a difference between overthinking, which would be that Nine of Swords, processing emotions through the logical brain, that can sometimes cause issues, troubles, discomfort. And I think some of that might be the message this week is just feel what you're feeling and allow it to be what it is. Don't fight against it with your logical brain trying to justify either others' behaviors or their opinions of how you should be or how you should feel. And don't try and negate your feelings to make logical ends meet, is my feeling, right? Allow the flow to turn on that is within you and allow it to rise up within you and almost stabilize you and own it. Like, don't fight against it. There's that phrase that I always say, whatever you resist will persist. If you resist this, it will persist in pushing you towards, and that's some of the Hanged Man card that we saw yesterday. He's in a state of suspension because he needs to stop resisting what's going on around him, be in the present moment, and then receive the enlightenment and the awareness that comes with that. This to me feels like we are receiving and owning that enlightenment, becoming more settled in it, and then allowing that enlightenment or that energy, that perspective to flow more easily. So let's go to the clarifiers. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Not mad at that card. This is about, first off, it's Pentacles, which flows beautifully and matches up and complements Water Cups energy very well, very, very well. It's also about grounding, right? Tens are about completions of cycles for not only ourselves, but everyone involved. And the Ten of Pentacles is very much about financial abundance or material 3D abundance. If the goal here is to feel better, to create more in our lives, that's kind of why we see the Ten of Pentacles here. I feel like this card is telling us, even if we're up in our feels, to maintain a connection to the 3D outward abundance goal that we want. Allow our energy, our water, our feelings, our soul to move towards that. To stay focused on that, to ground in that, to, even if we don't have it yet, to not settle for anything less than that, right? It's kind of my feeling. I feel like this Ten of Pentacles is an outcome. It's not necessarily, it's here helping us to ground us in how we feel about what we want and own that. And the more that we do that and the more that we allow our energy to flow towards that, the more possible this Ten of Pentacles becomes, right? Then we see the Knight of Pentacles. Not mad at him. He's slow and steady wins the race. He's one of the slowest energies in the deck, and he's moving forward into what I consider the future of the reading. This is why this Ten of Pentacles to me feels like more of a future outcome goal that we need to ground in and stay focused on while we work through stuff emotionally or while we feel our way through this period in time. The Knight is going to take slow steps forward. This is the winter season when this is being filmed, so I'm not mad at seeing him. Nature automatically withdraws during winter. It's a time of rest and rejuvenation. And we heard that in the Energy Flows Abundantly card, is to take time to rest and rejuvenate. The Knight is going to be steady. He's going to make choices slowly. He's going to slowly step forward in security, in confirmation, in discernment, in in service to himself and to the highest good, especially the highest good of ourselves and those that we love, with this Ten of Pentacles as this sort of outside goal that I'm feeling is going on. But we may not be able to necessarily move as quickly as, say, we might be feeling, or I hope that makes sense, right? But be patient with yourself too is also a Knight of Pentacles meaning. And then this is the same card as yesterday, same position and everything. This is the Nine of Wands. I'm going to say this because we're seeing this in the same position 2 days in a row, and we're seeing so much emotional stuff going on in all these cups. Some of us may be coming to terms with a spiritual truth or understanding that we've experienced through hardship, whether in a relationship, situation, job, whatever it is. The Nine is about a personal completion, but Wands is about fire and the spirit. And to me, the Nine of Wands, he's the wounded warrior, right? He's the guy that comes back from battle just barely alive, having made it through the hardship. But having done so, he's put his experience to good use, and he's smarter because of the experience. There's a certain level of maybe even gratitude in the Nine of Wands that we need to find or have within ourselves to put whatever we've been dealing with in the past, to put it in front of us in a way that it works for us. And I'm not saying live in the past so that we, say, oh, well, automatically this is going to happen to us again. That's not the case with the Nine of Wands. He works smarter, not harder, right? He takes his lessons, he's appreciative for them. He may be a little bit battered, a little bit like, road worn, or however you want to look at him, but he's also not taking these hits to his ego or in his experience in vain. And so for me, I think that there's a spiritual understanding that's coming to us this week through hardship that we are regulating or assimilating at an emotional level, and then there's this renewal of how we channel that emotion into our 3D reality and into our experience and into our ability to manifest abundance or creation. And that is kind of what I feel like these cards are sort of trying to tell us. I hope that makes sense. Let me go to the grounding stone. And remember, the grounding stone this week is that word truth. So there's an emotional truth, a spiritual truth, a reality in here that we are connecting to and not holding on to, but allowing to just ourselves settle into, that is powerful, I believe. Here is the grounding stone for the day, and the word is promise. I always say this with this stone. It always has dual meaning. And the meaning that usually comes out with this stone for me is I always think of like the promised land, like things being filled with opportunity and the possibility of a situation, and to ground in that. But today, the other meaning feels more prevalent, and this is the promise one can make to themselves or their word. Your word is like, the words we speak to ourselves are important. I feel like there's an emotional dedication here, or a promise that we're making to ourselves to be true, that stone truth for the week, to remain true to ourselves. And through that truth and through this awareness, this emotional and spiritual awareness, this sort of up-leveling or growing in our divine feminine consciousness, in our emotional awareness, the ownership of that, we're making a promise to ourselves. And that's sort of also the wisdom of the Nine of Wands, or the wisdom of the Hanged Man, or the wisdom of the High Priestess that we're seeing this week, is this: we put our truth above all else, regardless of what's going on within us or around us. And we make a commitment or a promise to ourselves. This commitment or promise, this action or this dedication in a way, and that also is the Knight of Pentacles there, opens up the word promise to become the second meaning, which is that idea of promise or opportunity, the promised land, or the Ten of Pentacles, the outcome or goal of the abundance that we seek to create. But first we have to commit to ourselves, and maybe believing we're worthy, or believing that it's possible, believing that we deserve it, and committing to that at a very deep level, and allowing that to become our truth, so that we can open up to the second meaning of promise, which is all of this is available to me whenever I'm ready to allow myself to have it and to understand I deserve it. I hope you guys, that makes sense. I think it's does. I actually think this is a beautiful reading, and I'm really excited about this week and this energy. Please tune in tomorrow for tomorrow's reading, and we'll see how this transforms and changes. For all of you that do tune in, thank you so very much. For those of you that are new, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a question or comment, and share the video out. And again, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll see what takes place. Have a great day, and take care. Bye-bye.